generous. But her locket was the real prize. It had been a gift from Granny, the one link left to her past when she'd been happy and the world was full of possibilities. She'd been so naive. She had no more illusions of love. Her Cinderella story had ended just over a year ago, only 5 months into her marriage. The first slap that Thanksgiving night after an endless extravaganza at his parents' estate, with his entire family and many of their important friends, still rang through her memory. She was an introvert by nature, and the days of prepping and late into the night dining, drinking, and partying had left her physically and emotionally exhausted. When they got home, Augie wanted to celebrate their successful evening. He informed her he was horny and ready for sex. She'd kissed him, explained how tired she was, and promised that, after a little rest, she'd give him a very good morning. He'd slapped her. The move so sudden she would have thought she'd imagined it if not for the heat rapidly replacing the shocked nerves on her cheek. No one said no to August DeSalvo, especially not his low-class hick of a wife. She should be grateful for every little thing he did for her. Augie took the sex he wanted that night, and Mollie knew her dream life had irrevocably changed into a nightmare. Between the family attorney and his parents' influence, her report to the police the next day had mysteriously disappeared, and the one after that had been pleaded down to a public disturbance and dismissed with a fine. So she'd stopped calling the police. She stopped sharing a bedroom with her husband, and she stopped feeling hope. Now, thankfully, Augie got most of his sex from the string of affairs he had. But Mollie didn't care that he was cheating on her. She didn't have emotions anymore. She drew in another painful breath. That wasn't exactly true. She had fear. Fear was her constant companion. If Augie wasn't with her, then she knew one of his friends or beefy bodyguards or even someone from the office or their home staff was watching her. The beautiful trophy wife who straightened her hair and dyed it blonde because her husband didn't think her natural dark curls looked sophisticated. Who wore heels that pinched her feet because he thought they made her look sexy. Who'd married a man because she'd believed the DeSalvo family taking her in and Augie supporting her through the worst time of her life meant they loved her. How could a smart woman be so foolish? Her loneliness and despair had led to some disastrous choices. Her granny must be turning over in her grave to see how frightened and abused she had become. She'd grown up without parents, thanks to a rainy night highway accident when she was 4. But she'd been raised with love and enough food to eat, and she'd been taught a solid work ethic and some old-fashioned common sense by her grandmother, Lucy Bell Crane. She was the girl who'd overcome the poor circumstances of her Ozarks upbringing to earn scholarships and work her way through college at the University of Missouri. She had a degree in math education, a year in the classroom under her belt, and a semester's worth of classes toward her master's degree. Yet here she was, huddled on the kitchen floor of August DeSalvo's big, beautiful house, afraid to stand her ground with Augie. Afraid to call the police, afraid to ask anyone for help, afraid to pursue a teaching job or further her education, afraid to leave, afraid to stay, afraid. Feeling an imagined warmth radiating from the locket in her hand, she pressed a kiss to the silver oval and dropped it inside the front of her dress. Then she braced one hand on the oven behind her and reached up to grasp the granite countertop on the island across from her. The door to the garage swung open. Mollie gasped in fear and plopped down on her butt. The movement jarred her sore ribs, and she grabbed her side, biting down on a moan of pain and bracing herself for another round of degrading words and hard blows from her husband. Only she didn't recognize the man in the black uniform suit and tie who wandered into